What's going on, everybody? This is Super Robot Ed, and today we have in front of you the Shattered Glass Collection. Shattered Glass Voyager class Starscream. And as you can see here, he comes with this box, and he comes with the comic book, which came separate. Box was a little beat up. And here is the toy. And pretty much we'll go over a few things here before we get into the toy. As you can see on the back of the box, he has 22 steps to transform. He is in some decent colors. We'll talk about those colors in a minute. Let's move the box out the way. And after that, we're going to do a look around at the comic book here that we have. Just a moment. Get it. All right. This comic book you get comes separate. It is number 3. And of course, it has Starscream on the front. I guess the more you collect, the more you get the comic books. And they do have this white paper to keep it, kind of neat. Probably never really going to take it out because it's not going to really take it out, but it does come with the comic book. That's why we're paying such a hefty price for it. I'm going to put that to the side, and it comes with these instructions. I do like the color of the instructions. They're like a different, I don't know, they're just different. But I guess that's what we get. Now, I don't have a lot of these Shattered Glass figures. Only got a few. Why? Well, because not into Shattered Glass like that. But I always thought certain colorations would be unique, and Starscream in Jetfire colors basically is awesome. So we'll first start off by taking a look at him. And of course, he is that predominantly Jetfire color scheme where he's a nice clean white with red. It's got the blue kind of piping there for the cockpit. Underneath, he's mostly white with black paint for the legs. The runners are white. The nose cone is red, and from the back here has that unique, like he has a cockpit, kind of like not a Tetra jet, but more like being the original G1 jets. And oddly enough, in some of the comic books, they have them more or less looking like the Earth style forms, which would have been nice if we got one of those, but it looks like they were kind of going for the idea that this used to be Shattered Glass Starscream was based on the Voyager Galaxy Force Starscream. So if you didn't know, in America we never actually got the Voyager sized version of Starscream. Only in Japan for Cybertron or Galaxy Force that they did that. We got the jumbo version, and then we got a slightly different paint version in a 2-pack, but we never got the actual Voyager Starscream. So when he came out for the Shattered Glass, they used that size of the mold just for creating the character. So I think they kind of went with that instead of using the Earth style jets, which that would have really been awesome, being as how we got more repaints of this version of the jets than we have of the actual Earth style jets. The Earth style jets, we only have technically 3. And then, of course, the remolds into the cone heads. But you get what I'm saying? It would have been nice to have that because that's all we had at the moment. So who knows? Maybe they'll do an Earthrise version, so to speak, later on down the line. But until then, we got this one. And I'm pretty fond of it. I mean, I wanted this one. Megatron, not so much. I'll let that come down to pricing if he comes down cheaper. But, of course, I do have the Optimus Prime and Ratchet, because you really couldn't find a Ratchet. And of course, the price was right now. The price for them are going up slowly. So I'm glad I got it while it was still cheap. But anyway, this is the way the jet looks. And of course, he comes with an extra piece. And that piece is a sword, which actually is pretty cool and splits into 2. And if you want to, you really can't have one or the other. You can take the guns off. And you could kind of put the swords here and just say, since the Siege version of Starscream in the not Shattered Glass universe has the guns, he can have attacking swords, which make no sense, but it's your toy. You do what you want to do with it. But for the sake of just showing things off, being cohesive with the review, we're going to quickly do some comparisons. And then after that, we're going to go to robot mode. No transformation on screen. If you haven't seen it already, it's been done a million times. There's too many repaints for me to keep making this review extra long. And of course, kind of transforming him at times is a pain in the butt. But he does have the remolded chest part. It does not come off, so that's a good thing. So now we're going to bring in some toys that look like him similarly. And first we'll start off with Siege Jetfire. No, I did not get Shattered Glass Jetfire. You can see their colors are very similar, but these are sort of an off-white compared to this, which is a very stark white. So, but like I say, he's here to mimic him. And then one that's more closer to his size, which we will bring out right now, is Henkei Jetfire, which is very close to his size. And like I said, it's kind of a good match. But like I said, he's been with me since 2008. Yeah, I've had this for a very long time. As you can see here, this is the color scheme that they're going for, a very heroic Jetfire color scheme. And I think that's pretty cool. And that's why the Shattered Glass Jetfire is going for the more like a dark kind of, sky warp, just dark scheme. And that's another story for another day about that. So we'll just move on. Right, and get these out of the way. Then we're going to do a comparison with his alternate timeline version, I guess. Oh, wait. Before we do that, here's some other Shattered Glass people. Here's Shattered Glass Optimus Prime, who is a leader / Voyager. And I guess this would be Deluxe Class Ratchet. And of course, they are Shattered Glass, and they would fit in the universe perfectly. And this is my third Shattered Glass figure. So again, they compare very well. We'll move them out of the way. And sizing, if you want to know real quick, for my measurement aficionados, as far as the size, they're about 6 inches in length, and in height about 3, if you needed some measurements or anything like that. Now we'll bring in none other than his counterpart from the universe we know, Tetrajet Starscream. And of course, this one is clean, this one is dirty. He's a evil Decepticon, he's a heroic Decepticon, so he shouldn't be grimy and dirty, he should be regular. Food today, oh my goodness. And of course, from the underside, as you can see here, they are vastly different. And yes, he has a lot of the grime. Not getting the premium version of him, I don't see any purpose of that. But you can definitely see the differences, so you can see, and everybody can, the Decepticon symbols are here, while his are up here. He's got different paint designs, and of course, this is blue, and this is yellow. It's black here. This is like that kind of a dull gray. And of course, from the back, different parts here. So you can see that for the people, they are different. And like I said, he has, in transformation, this part comes off. This one actually doesn't. This one, the plastic feels a little different because this one is painted somewhat in certain areas. But these are pretty much the main parts the same as the back. Other than that, it's cool. He's got the heroic Decepticon symbol on the chest, which will be the chest, and he doesn't. So bam, that is it. We'll move on to robot mode, and then we'll review. Be back in 2 and 2. All right, and we're back, and we got Shattered Glass Starscream as robot mode. Let's go over a few things here. And of course, he comes with the extra accessory that was the sword, which I said again, can split into 2. But, it's the same articulation that has always been with these Seekers. They have a nice knee bend, as you can see here. Very nice knee bend. The knee bend goes back to here. And of course, the back here will block that. He has the feet swivel. Yeah, it's feet swivel. He has elbow, arm out articulation. Also, he has, for a Seeker, waist swivel. He can swivel at the waist, which is something we have complained about with the Earthrise Seekers. And of course, he can look a little up and down. And we'll go over the head sculpt. There's a few things that changed. And he also has wrist swivel. So, I mean, you know, you can do that. He's got wrist swivels. You guys see that. All right. So we're going to go quickly to the head sculpt. As you can see the head sculpt there, it's very cool. We'll just turn that down so you can see his face. He has light piping, but it's kind of hindered in the back here. I don't know why. I don't know, but you could. He's got it. You know, the face is painted. Has a kind of a frown look, kind of like the face that's on. I don't know. It's just not the same face. Because I could swore even with the Target exclusive one, Red Wing, he has like a smirk. But anyway, they all either have a smirk or open mouth or a regular face. So, you know, but he looks more heroic than Starscream because I did switch the face on my Starscream. So we're going to turn the brightness down back to where we were. So we're not too bright here. And basically with the swords, if you split them in half, you can put them in his hand. And now he's got 2 swords. And he uses these swords to chop down his foes for heroic Decepticon leader Megatron, which I will probably, again, never get. It's not going to overpay for stuff. And he looks pretty cool. Like he's ready to do damage and battle and stuff. And so we'll just go straight to comparisons with some other Shattered Glass figures. And of course, the other 2 that I have again. And here are Shattered Glass Starscream, along with Shattered Glass Optimus Prime, and of course, Shattered Glass Ratchet. And as you can see here, we'll pump up the brightness just a tad. As you can see them, and they look pretty good together. Starscream's the only heroic Decepticon on the scene, and these guys are going to jump him. And he's got 2 swords, and he's like, I ain't afraid of you. All right. So, I'm going to move those guys out the way. And we're going to bring in what his paint scheme is to look like. And that is, of course, the giant man in the room. He's very big. It's none other than this guy, the Commander class version of Jetfire. And you can see how their colors are very similar. And also Henkei Jetfire, which I can't put the backpack on. He will not stand up with the backpack, if you know that. So there are the other Jetfires in the room. And no, for the record, the helmet will not fit. It just won't fit. It won't go in the head. All right. And we've seen them. And yeah, we'll do a little bit of a close-up so everybody can get an idea of what's going on here. It's a little close-up of the crew. And you can see that there. And we're just going to play all that out. And there's one more thing we got to do. And then we'll go into the final thoughts. And then finally, we have these 2. Of course, we have Shattered Glass Starscream, along with the original Siege Starscream. His face is a little darkened, because of course Starscream always has that more darkened face than the other ones. As you can see, like I said, the head sculpts are the same. It's just the way that it's painted. And they both have the exact same light piping, everything. The only difference is that the chest has, you know, the red heroic Decepticon symbol. He's got the blackened turbines where his are gray. He's the typical Starscream colors, a lot of dirt. He's, again, the typical Jetfire colors with 2 swords. And he's clean. And if we want to see them in robot mode from the back, here they go. As you can see, they're very similar. Everything is similar, just a different paint scheme and different placement of tamples. He's got the little Decepticon tamples on the inside of wing. And like I said, his is on the chest. And other than that, they are pretty much the same toy. Just this one looks a little better. And so we're done with the comparisons. And we'll go ahead and go into the final thoughts. So, final thoughts, should you pick this up? I'd say yeah, if you really liked this version of Starscream. I like this version of Starscream. I like Starscream in this different color scheme. I think it's pretty good. Will I pick up all the shattered glass? Probably not. You know, you gotta budget somehow. I can't buy everything. I don't want everything. I can't play with everything. You know, it's just one of those things. But, however, we can collect these toys, be happy with the ones that we want, and then, of course, give our as much of an expert view as I can. It's the same mold that's been out for about the past 3 years now. We're in 2018, 4 years now. It just came out 2018 or 2019. Can't remember which year it is, but it's been about a few years. It's held up pretty well. It's not loose. It's actually pretty tight, and that's probably partly because of paint. But other than that, it's a fantastic colorization of Starscream, a different take on him. He's more heroic. If you read the comic, it'll give you much more perspective of the character. Don't really have time to read the comics. I have to read instructions. It's a little different when you gotta work. Other than that, I like it. I think it's cool. I'm not going goo goo gaga over it. That's all I can tell you. If that makes sense. But I think it's pretty cool. It's not, you know, it's just something that I wanted, but it's not something that I'm going, you know, like, oh my gosh, I got it. No, not really. I'm gonna be honest with you. I've already seen this enough. So it's up to you to make that decision. I don't go around and say it's great because you should take my opinion, because you might like something that I might not like, and I might like something that you may not like. But I will say it's a very good looking figure. You get a comic book, you get a nice box. What else can I say? And it's just different. This different color scheme is enough to lend to the lore. So yeah, I'd say go out and get it if you want it. If you don't, you don't have to get it. If you're not a fan of shattered glass, this is not something that you need to collect. Save your money and buy another figure that you don't have, or whatever you want. But again, it's the Super Robot Ed. Thank you for watching my review of my video, and we'll see you soon with more reviews. Until then, bye bye.